This episode is proudly supported by Fine Food Australia. It's only a few weeks until Fine Food Australia, the country's leading trade event for food service and hospitality, is back on in Sydney. As a professional in the food industry, you know the importance of staying ahead, discovering new trends, connecting with suppliers, and finding the inspiration to move your business forward. For over 40 years, Fine Food Australia has been the ultimate destination for chefs, restaurateurs, cafe owners, food retailers, and distributors alike. With over 900 exhibitors across 12 product categories, featuring both local and global brands, Fine Food Australia is where you'll find what's next, what's new, and what's driving the food industry forward. Make sure you register online before the 8th of September to secure free trade entry, so you don't have to pay $45 at the door. Don't miss Fine Food Australia on from the 8th to the 11th of September at ICC Sydney Darling Harbour. For more information, go to www.finefoodaustralia.com.au.
Bonjour, this is Dirty Linen coming to you from Champagne, the region in France, just to the east of Paris. Drive a couple of hours from Charles de Gaulle, as we did, and you will find yourself in the region of Champagne. A sparkling land of joy and plenty. I have never been to Champagne before, and I was so excited to have it as part of the itinerary on a recent 2-week trip to France. I've always enjoyed champagne, well, since I was of legal age. But a few years ago, I became a little bit obsessed with grower champagne, which is the champagne that is made by the people that grow the grapes. Most champagne is produced by big houses that source the fruit from all over the region and blend it into a standardized product that is the same no matter same from year to year and the same no matter the season. It's a standardized product. When you open a bottle of Moet Chandon, it's non-vintage and it's consistent, and there are good things about that. But grower champagne is made by smaller producers, usually families. They have a lower production, but the important thing about what they do is that they express the terroir and the season. So just like wine from Burgundy or the Mornington Peninsula or the Hunter Valley, it is wine that expresses the season and the land that it comes from. In a way, grower champagne is just normal, like it's what most wine is. But in the champagne world, it's quite a specialist niche product. So I was so excited to be able to visit a couple of grower champagne producers on this trip. The first one was Lamandière Bernière, and this is the champagne that really turned me onto the whole genre. It was a bottle of Lamandière Bernière Latitude that I tried a few years ago and really experienced champagne in a different way. Just felt more connected to the narrative and the origin, and I just got really excited about it. So the first appointment we had was with Lamandière Bernière and Pierre Lamandière, who is the father of the new generation that is coming through at that champagne house, welcomed us and showed us around his cellar, and we did an incredible tasting, and it was all very exciting. I will confess to being even a little overwhelmed to be in the presence of such champagne greatness. I geeked out. Yes, I did. Then we drove to Bereche et Fils, so Bereche and Sons, a champagne producer, also in that grower champagne style. And And this one is the fifth generation of the Bereche family is there making champagne. I had an audience with Raphael Bereche, one of the younger guns of this grower champagne movement, sitting in the tasting room adjacent to the cellar that he skateboarded around as a kid, as he explained later. I tasted some champagnes and had a chat to Raphael about this place we found ourselves in, what it feels like to be a generational champagne producer, and his passion and involvement with the terroir, what he's actually trying to do as a grower champagne producer. One of the extraordinary things that happened during the tasting, which isn't part of the podcast because it's maybe not that interesting to listen to people drinking. But yeah, one of the most exciting things that happened during the tasting was that as I sipped champagne, which is grown in very chalky soil, Raphael had me stroke a big lump of chalk. I am very suggestible when it comes to wine, but I definitely felt that I could taste the chalkiness of the soil, especially as I stroked this white lump of rock. Please don't be too harsh on my geekiness. I'm definitely a fan of champagne, not an expert, but I was really thrilled to be in the presence and genial company, got to say, of two such incredible legends in this world. So I hope you enjoy this chat with Raphael.
Raphael, tell us where we are.
So we are in the Montagne d'Ors, precisely in the Grande Montagne d'Ors. We are lucky to be very close from Reims, and we are between the forest and the city. So we call that a terroir, and it is a nice terroir because we have the forest at 250 meters altitude. So it's perfect. And after you have the coteau, so you have some steep, some slope, etc., some different exposition. And after you have the fields. And after the fields, you can find a city called Reims. It's difficult to pronounce. Reims. And the city is only at 8 kilometers. Yes.
And what about your family's history here? Tell us about this building, where we're situated.
We are in the Montagne d'Ors region, in Lude, precisely, in the Premier Cru area. As you can see on the map, this area is like a croissant. And you can imagine a croissant, and we're on the north of this croissant. So from Lude, after you can find Mailly, Verzenay, Trépaille, Bouzy, and the famous cru of Ambonnet. And Ambonnet-Bouzy is from Benefit South Exposure Vineyard. And we are here, the family are here since 1847. So with my brother Vincent, we represent the fifth generation of grower here. And for us, it is an honor. It's a real chance to be here in the continuity of our parents. I start to work with my parents 20 years ago. So I'm 42, and my parents are still here to look, control, and it's a real chance to have a sort of continuity like that, and also to keep the famous savoir-faire. To keep the famous method elaboration of champagne, because here we trust about historical practice from our grandfather, for example. That's very important to take time to make wine and to have this luxe to take time to make this famous champagne. As you know, certainly. Champagne as a sparkling wine have only 300 years. During these 300 years, all of the champenois big house, grower, all of the process, bottle blowing, etc., etc. Work on quality. Work on quality. Try to ameliorate the process, ameliorate the winemaking. So it's a lot of energy, a lot of experience, a lot of savoir-faire, and it's quite unique in the world to have this type of wine experience. I mean, Champagne, it's a true terroir with the famous chalk. You can see it here on the table. And so it's a sort of white stone you can write with, but sorry for my English. And you have this soil. So it is a poor soil. And also the climate of Champagne, as you can see on the French map, we are not so far from Paris, northeast from Paris. So we are between two climates, oceanic and continental. It means we have rain every week during the season, and sometimes it's very warm, and during the winter it's very, very cold. So it's continental experience. But the oceanic experience gives us a lot of rain. So it's very tricky to make Champagne, very tricky to make yield, constant yield. So Champagne winemaking and Champagne culture, vineyard culture is difficult in Champagne. And for that is crazy to have this evolution in Champagne to create the best sparkling wine in the world. And on this very difficult terroir. For that, Champagne is a true miracle. And it's a miracle for another thing. It's a miracle because Champagne is a sparkling wine. And to make this sparkling wine is very, very difficult because here our wine is quite fresh, not acidic, but it's fresh because we have the chalk, because the cold climate, etc., etc. So in general, we have very late maturity, and we love that because when you have late ripeness, it means you have a big difference between the day and the night. And this difference of temperature give a lot of protection about the aromas inside the grape, inside the berries. If you have very short maturity, short ripeness, for example, in August for us, sometimes the temperature in the night never decrease. It's quite very close to temperature from the day. And we don't like this type of temperature. Grape in Champagne need breath, need different temperature on the same day. It's like that you get the finest Champagne possible. So voilà. And so it's a combination of this kind of climate experience from the winemaker, from the grower, and together we create Champagne as you know now. That's quite crazy because it's on only 300 years we arrive to this quality of sparkling wine.
It is really a miracle. So Raphael, you were growing up in this family with many stories. I'm sure vintage was something people talked about a lot. When did you decide, was it obvious for you that you would go into the family business or?
It's completely natural. Honestly, it's not a question of choice. It's a question of support, of respect of the history of the work of my grandfather, my ancestor, and also my parents. So it's sometimes you feel that you feel sort of bridge or kind of stability, but also stability means it's time to give energy. And we really feel that with my brother. It's time to arrive. For sure, 10 years before we arrive, it's certainly not possible to be two owner from the same family for our domain. But we have to work together with my brother to make this happen. So we have to find the direction. And my direction, our direction, is to imagine the vineyard farming, winemaking in the cellar as a 3-star Michelin restaurant. It's important to make quality, high quality. It's also very important to make luxury products because champagne is true luxe. Champagne is only 7% of the sparkling wine in the world. Only 7%. With this 7%, we produce 57% of the value.
Wow.
So it's a miracle, but it's a lot of work for first things. And it's important to understand that. So when you know that, for sure, you have to make quality. You have to make the best quality as possible. And you're stupid if you take very short chemin, very short road to make champagne. We are programmed to produce the best quality as possible. It's our job because you have to respect the history.
And so you mentioned the energy that you and Vincent bring. What do you do differently to the ancestors?
Alors, we try to we are lucky to have parents very, very, very smart and very ecological. My parents have a huge potager, half hectares for one potager for one family is huge. So my parents do that, and I think it's a sign, and I'm very lucky because my parents start to stop herbicide in the end of the 20th century. So because my parents have a lot of sensibility about the soil. So for my mom for sure, but my father is on the tractor to plow. So it's his decision, and my father stop, and we continue when we arrive in 2004. Sorry, and it's like that. So no herbicide for us, 100% plowing soil between end of March, beginning of April, until mid-July. So not all along the year. No, only during this period because it is a growing season and when the plant grow like that. So that's important because, as you know, Champagne vineyard, as the best vineyard in France, have high density plantation. In Champagne, you have between 9,000 to 9,300 vine per hectare. It's huge. It's a lot. So it means you have a lot of vine per hectare, so you have a lot of concurrences. This concurrences is very important to increase the quality. Why? Because with this density, you have less grape per vine. And with this density, normally the roots go very more deeply in the soil. And as you know, chalk is very close to the topsoil. Chalk is white porous stone. Sometimes you have no arable soil. Sometimes you find the chalk at 30-40 centimeters. So that's very important for the quality, for the taste, for the sapidity, for the, it's a little bit short to say that, but it's to find the minerality. Voilà. But behind this minerality, I search first of all the salinity and the refreshing wine. Refreshing wine is important. Refreshing champagne is important, not due by the acidity, only for me due by the minerals, the salt. So clearly, the sensation in your mouth is not acidic, but is on your cheeks, something like tannin, but for white wine. So I call chalky. You have a sort of grip, and this grip gives you a lot of rémanence in français. Reminiscence. Voilà. And I love to find that in wine, in Champagne.
So when someone's drinking this somewhat like, let's say in Australia, and they don't have that connection to the terroir, like, do you think they can experience it?
We can't make champagne for every people. We can't. You have to have an experience. If you love Chablis, if you love Burgundy, if you love Cutible terroir from Australia or Pinot Noir, you have in Champagne and you can come here directly. But perhaps it's better if you make different visits and after come here they have experience over, because our quantity is very limited and sell every year for our historic customer. So this is very low. So and the one is particular also.
So you want people to have a certain level of appreciation?
It's not. No, I don't want this type of arrogance. But it's important to make the experience general in Champagne step by step. And there are beautiful cellars in the city. After you go in the vineyard and select some different producers. Perhaps you prefer Côte de Blanc. Perhaps you like Montagnards. Perhaps you like Meunier from Dani Valent. So you have to feel that, but perhaps try it in the restaurant, in the wine bar. And after you can choose the proper way your visits. And voila, but more I propose experience of tasting. We call that lecture des terroirs. So read our terroir. It's not to. We're not here to speak about price, about special cuvée, etc. It's not this type of tasting. Our tasting focus on soil experience taste.
Raphael, what do you love about what you do?
But I love when we have a good season, not too difficult season. When we have the luxe to have a beautiful fruit in our wine, in our vineyard, and when you have a base wine with a kind of austerity, because when you speak about austerity, you also speak about taste of terroir. And wine is not only drinks. Wine is an experience. It's a testimony of soil, of culture, of people. So I love this type of approach. Voilà. Also for food. Say, when in this or this village, city, region, it's important to taste the local food and to shock you a little bit, move you a little bit, to have different experience, different rhythm, different flavor, taste.
And with the heritage of Bereche here in Champagne, do you see that is that a burden or is it exciting?
No, it's not a burden. It's very exciting. But again, it's a true heritage. But first of all, it is a story of the years. And we are here to make the best wine as possible. But again, we are not on the wine. It's for sure, we make the wine, we make the decision, but it's important to understand for all the winemakers, I see, the true boss is the terroir. And our job is to make terroir apples, terroir show, the terroir expression alive. And put this in the bottle, and normally your customer is very happy.
I hope you enjoyed my little conversation with Raphael. There were some tastings interspersed with that conversation. I fancy I can hear the champagne in my voice just a tad, but it was such an exciting day. We stayed in Troyes, Troyes, which is a beautiful medieval town at the southern end of the region. And if you are lucky enough to be over in France, it's a really nice place to stay. The other town that we went to in Champagne is Epernay, where it's a lovely place to have lunch. The bigger town in the region is Rheims. I have saved that for next time. If you are interested in this whole topic of grower champagne, it's on a lot of wine lists. You can sometimes get it by the glass, which is really fun. And yeah, I would love to toast you with a glass of grower champagne one day. Thanks for listening, and I will catch up with you soon. This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.